got time to smoke one more. Taking the message to the people now. Keep smoking and growing and watching prohibition fall down.
Yo, today, Dude Grow Show. We're going to talk about all types of good stuff. We're going to debunk some cannabis myths, cannabis versus alcohol culture. And one of these myths is, man, did you guys know the pH chart is a conspiracy?
We're the best commenters, man. What is up, dude?
Everything is up. Everything is up. We got a guest in studio to help us with all this today. Have a good time. Gabe from New Mill 58. What's up?
Jug Dealers. Hey, he's actually in studio. Fist bump to prove it, brother. Hell yeah. Good hanging out. Banner is here as well. He's flying deaf, though, man. He has no headphones, so he's just a talker. He's not a listener.
I'm here in spirit.
Grambo. Yo. Big ups to you, brother.
You know what they say, not for nothing.
Not for nothing.
Now, in honor of Gabe being here, I had to bust out the not for nothing shirt.
Man, that's classic, man. Classic. What is up, DGC? What's up, live chat? Jump in here, man. We got a bunch of good stuff today.
Yeah, what is up, chat? I'll try to. Go ahead, Scotty.
I was just gonna say, Gabe, real quick. If people don't know you, give yourself let people get to know you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the cannabis game like 30 years now.
Jesus.
I've done everything from selling it to moving it to growing it. I've been growing for 30 years.
I'm trying to think. So that's 96
is when 96 is really when I started growing.
God,
I got put my first seeds down. I got a cut of
big ups to 4,800 a pound.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, I've seen 8 for the puck hash.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the commercial game a long time. I've operated legally in Colorado, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Worked in some other markets. I helped start Grassroots Cannabis.
What's your grow style, man?
I like cocoa. I like cocoa and smaller pots. Like if I'm at home, I'm in like maybe a 3 or a 5 gallon. If I'm in a facility, I'm maybe in like a 1 to 2 gallon. Automated feed, pretty regimented.
Sure.
But,
New Mill?
I use the Cytetics for the New Mill, but I'll use a combination of them on the commercial places. If I'm hand watering, like at home, I still use New Millennium. I'll use New Millennium with recharge.
Well, the proof's in the pudding, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Jaron knows some fire.
It works, man. And I just pulled down my outdoor. And even my outdoor, it's funny because my outdoor, I do the same way I do my indoor, just bigger pots.
Yeah.
Cocoa?
What size pots?
Really?
Yeah, cocoa.
What size?
For outdoor, I'll do like a 10 to a 15.
Yeah.
And it depends on the size of the plant too. Like I had an Uishi that was maybe like this big that I did in like a 5 gallon, but I had a Han Solo burger that was probably like 7 feet tall that I did in a 20.
Jesus.
And like, yeah, I'll do cocoa. I'll feed them the same way. I'll do some like Mag Garden in there. I'll mix up my nutrient regimen.
Sure.
But honestly, it's funny because people always be like, you do it the same way as you do inside. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't? It's what I know.
I tell you, do you know lights, man? Or you guys do lights over there?
Yeah.
You do, right?
Yep.
All right, dude, I'm jumping. We have an agenda. And I'm jumping right off it, man. Dude,
that's okay.
Do you mind if I just ask about, do we always get the HPS
lights are sexy?
LED? Well, we always get the HPS versus LED question, debunking the myths. Is it different, or does one grow more or better than the other? Man, what do you think? HPS versus LED?
I mean, I think it's with everything, even when it's funny because when you talked about the pH thing, which will end up being part of the topic, it's like there's different genetics that like different light recipes, you know, and I think some of the older school stuff, the Chem D, the Sour D, some of that, Gorilla Glue, they really like that HPS spectrum. Whereas some of the newer stuff, as I like to say to people, like stuff that was bred under LEDs likes to be grown under LEDs. Sure. Stuff that was bred under HPSs likes to be grown under HPSs. I think there's nobody who can deny that the morphology is different.
With 6 different continents these are grown on.
Well, and the way they achieve an orange light in an LED is by a combination of whites and reds.
Yeah.
Whereas the way they do it in an HPS is with temperatures and gases. So it's just a completely different spectrum in which, they reached the pinnacle of there's a reason that the double-ended fixture, the only way they can make a double-ended fixture better is to make it more efficient. But the spectrum is there.
Yeah.
The spectrum is they've dialed that in. Whereas with the LEDs, there's still a lot of experimentation. And if you'll notice, even with the Grandmasters and some of these other ones, even when you do the dialing and stuff, there's no spectrum that lines up with an HBS spectrum. They get them close, but the reality is we have a guy named Mex on our team who's a PhD, and he was look, between 600
PhD named Mex, is that what's on his doctorate?
Yes. He did a whole dissertation on different spectrums and how it affects flowering cannabis, and the difference between 633 nanometers and 640, that's a really small, narrow band. But anything outside that can affect the plants in totally different ways than stuff that lives right at those nanometers.
Well, one is red, right?
They're both reds.
And then the far red. And
they're both different reds. But the reality is that's not something that you and I can see with our own eyes. And someone to sell you a cheaper diode that's maybe a little bit outside that.
Yeah.
If you're outside that and you run it too long or have certain things happen, you'll see hermaphrodization, you'll see all these different things, in which again, I think as time goes on, we're going to see light spectrums start to be very dialed towards the genetic. OGs are going to have this light recipe.
Sure.
And chems are going to have this light recipe. And that way, you already see people shortening the times, which I think is cool. But I also wonder,
shortening the times? What do you mean?
They're using far reds to make a plant that flowers in 60 days, take it down at 55. But I wonder, are we missing some compounds by doing that? Are there certain things that we're
if you say thiols, we're all smoking, man. All right.
Yep.
I gotta take it for a second. I think
dude says HPS is dead.
Yeah, HPS is dead.
Look, you can say HPS is dead. The reality is we still sell a ton of them. There's a ton of old heads like me that use them and I'm telling you from experience.
What are you using? A double-ended bulb? A single-ended bulb?
Aggro dude over here, man.
Double-ended. But
I see definitely.
Go ahead. I was going to say, there's definitely dudes that are older dudes like me that just niche cannabis in Jersey, Blisco, the guys that are hash guys, they all still run HPSs, and there's a bunch of dudes out in California that have been continuing to buy HPSs until they know the regulations are going to take them out. But I'll
fire away. I'll get that.
There's places down in Florida that are running both.
What's up, Brett?
If you know how to grow properly, I think there's a lot of people aren't growing enough. They're not minding their leaf surface temperature, their environment with LED. Just the sheer cost to run that shiz. I think if you're running LED properly, you have a good one. Maybe we've been looking at, I'm sure you know some about these tunable spectrum LEDs out there that come with pre-programmed spectrums for different times during the grow. That's some interesting shiz that we've been seeing. But I don't see when you look at the light spectrums, it sounds like bro science to me that an old strains, it's because it was always growing under that. And it's an old school strain. So it likes that light better. But when you look at an LED spectrum, it is way more full of it has just a lot more to it.
So I want to say that Gene Traders did an event with Sour D, specifically Sour D grown by the same squad of dudes. So it's their cut. The Sour D grown under the HPS placed second. sour D grown under the LED, didn't even place.
It was interesting what you said about the LEDs that are being a combination. It's a white LED and a red LED.
That's the way they achieve those oranges. There's no there's no, most of the lamps, there's no real spectrum tuning. It's just adjusting whites and reds.
Yeah, how many of each? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, you're gonna miss the mark when you do. I'm not. And I've seen places down in Florida where they've run HPSs and LEDs,
Right.
like in the same room, along with the UV, same thing. Like DLI's UV fixture is a mini double-ended fixture. Why? Because first off, just having the instrumentation to measure that is damn near impossible. Like I went to Apogee's booth at BizCon, and their meter only goes down to like 360 nanometers.
And just so you know, Grambo has an inverted sphere in his house, man.
One of the ones
kidding.
they.
What is that thing called, right? It's something ridiculous like that they have to.
But UV is between like 130 and I think 360, in which all these LED companies that say they have UV, like even if they do, they don't have UVC. And the reality is like that stuff breaks down really quickly.
Yeah, UV
So, like,
is even hard to make.
So like those diodes may be good for like a year.
Yep.
Maybe a year and a half, and then they're just a novelty at that point.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
got-
So it's just
I got
Yes,
a
sir.
variant in the chat here. I run HPS metal halide and have no plans to change. And like you're saying, probably not until they're potentially not available. But you're right. I mean, there are growers out there that just don't want to change. And my gut still says it's, oh man, who said it in the chat? Grow style, leaf surface temperature. There is different spectrum, but if you're running UV in addition to your LEDs, you should be getting the same or better results and at the proper growing environment. Because I think a lot of HPS growers that went over to LEDs initially didn't do well because they grew the same way they would grow with their HIDs and didn't take into
100%.
consideration make everything
Yeah, but
warmer.
this-
But while I have the mic, hold on, while I have the mic, I do want to shout out, we are having a meetup, a social smoke out in Pontiac, Michigan, coming up here at the Crowfoot. That is going to be, and it's a full-on consumption event. We're hanging out. Go to realddc.com/meet. And if you're enjoying this content, learning the knowledge from Gabe, you guys like this show, a great way everybody to support the show. Go to realddc.com, go on over there. It's free to join and check out where we hang out and our clubhouse of over 7,000 growers.
Hey, Grambo,
Yes.
can we make this into a Jerry Springer episode?
Yeah.
HPS versus LED. Yeah, don't make me take off my shirt.
I'll
man.
throw a chair.
Come on, this would be good, man. This would be good.
I think LED technology has come a long way. I think it still has a long way to go. I think there's definitely advantages. But the other thing I'm pretty keen to point out to people is like, whatever LEDs you buy now, I don't care whose it is and how good it is. In 6 years, you're going to be throwing that fixture away just because of the rate of degradation.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter whose fixture it is. Whereas with the double-ended fixture, you will have replaced the bulb 3 times in that 5 years. But the reality is you could run that fixture another 10 or 15 years and just continue to replace the bulbs. And like, you're not, I hate to say it, but it's almost like the electric car. Like you see all these videos with dudes that go out with like a crescent wrench and a screwdriver and they start some diesel truck that's been sitting in a yard for 40 years. Nobody's going to do that with electric cars.
Trade them in, bro.
And so that's one of the things about LED lights that like, it's really appealing right now. Like we're saving energy and we're doing all this stuff. And like the reality is as well, the other thing that people don't think about is just like you were saying, well, I used to run my HPS room at 78 degrees. And so I had to run the air conditioning. Well, now I'm running my LED room at 83, 84 degrees and 65% humidity. So like, yeah, my electric bill came down a little bit, but now I'm running my heat more. I'm running my humidifiers more. So like, it's this thing where like, it's not like this windfall of savings that everybody thinks it is, where they're like, I'm saving all this money.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're saving some. I'm not going to deny that,
Yeah.
but it's not like this windfall. Like you're still using 80% of the power you were.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not using 1,000.
All right,
I'm using
80%.
800.
No,
Let's go Springer here. I disagree. I'm getting what the 80%? 80.
No,
I mean,
we're just bullshitting here, okay, man. More
I
power.
get it.
though.
I
And
didn't agree fully with the degradation of the diodes. I mean, up to like I thought it was like 9 years. You're still
Yeah.
running like in the
We've
90
seen it.
percentile.
Like I hate to
of that.
say it, and I wouldn't believe it, Brett, but we've seen it where we've seen fixtures that were 5 years old, and the micromole that at purchase was like 1,000 was like 540 at Canopy, bro. And I saw some other like same thing where like center of the Canopy it's still 800, but as soon as you move out to the side it's like 500. And like,
Were they from Timu? Y'all LEDs?
no, these were. I don't want to call ananybody out, but like the
Fair enough.
ones that were in the 500s were from a pretty reputable company. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
it's just look. I think they get better every single year. I think every single year they come out, they get better. So, but I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it. In which with an HPS, you see the degradation, you just change the bulb. That's all.
I mean, that costs money too. Though,
It
man.
does.
And
There's,
the real thing I wanted to say though is if you're able to run your room hotter because of the leaf surface temperature offset, dude, that means that your terpenes, that means your plant is hotter, man. Whether it's because what with the HPS, it's the infrared light, like the McDonald's heat lamp light, that is heating the leaf surface temperature up. If you're doing that through actual temperature of the entire plant, that's going to change the metabolism of the plant too.
100%. And like, dude, I don't want to poo-poo anything that anybody like. If it works
Please
for
don't,
you, if
man.
it works
doesn't
for you,
flush that good.
I know. But if it works for you and it works well, man, rock it out. I see people who still use 315s. You know what I mean? And like,
God, I was
whatever,
so excited about those.
whatever works for you.
How much is it if you're going to have HPS? How
Right.
important is it to run CO2?
Just-
Given that
and
you're going to go hotter anyways.
That's just the DLI thing, man. If you're not hitting your DLI, then no reason to run. Or if you're not hitting a certain DLI, a certain PPF, a certain amount of light, then that's when you want to run CO2. I don't know HPS or anything. I'm not sure that makes a difference, but
It's more the PPFD than
the amount of
HPS
light,
versus
yeah.
LED.
Yeah.
And
It's-
in that respect, you want to make sure your temperature, all the rest of that is right.
Grambo,
Yes.
how long have we been going?
17
I
minutes.
haven't hit the first topic yet.
That's
man.
what we
the
do.
first topic.
Got it.
This is really fun, man. I really appreciate you being here.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Excellent insights, sir.
Yes. Let's take it to
Give
the
yourself a
first
shout
topic.
out. Yes, but
Yes.
give yourself a shout out.
So just so anybody who doesn't know, my name is Gabe, G Money Love, co-host of the Jug Dealers, and just
G Money Love. I like that. man.
Trailblazer Consulting. It's funny. Somebody asked me how I got that name. It was real simple. I used to, when I did construction, we all took our hard hats off at lunch. And so I just put $G and a heart on my hard hat.
Oh,
right
that's
on,
pretty
and
cool.
G Money Love. And that's where it came from.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay, come on, dude. Let's go to
Yes.
this first
Grow
one.
myth.
Yes, sir.
This one's good. This is from Morty. Morty. It says, here is a growing myth. That chart, and this is referring to the pH chart, that chart we all refer to when discussing nutrient lockout, that shows how mineral absorption depends on pH. I don't know if we have one of these charts. It's on the back of
I'm gonna
pH
look
bottles
up
up and down. Yeah, it's been around forever. It says it was developed in the 1930s, and we know now it is largely false. It widely oversimplifies soil chemistry, microbiology, and plant physiology. Some nutrients, like molybdenum, do largely depend on pH for absorption into the plant. Others, like zinc, are much more dependent on the way the plants actively transport nutrients against their own concentration gradients. This is deep. Others won't be effectively absorbed at all without being incorporated into other molecules by microbes. pH does often matter, but we should realize the chart is not a good predictor of plants' actual nutrient uptake. And I'll add at the end, unless you are in a deep water culture or inert media. Yeah, that's the chart right there. I've looked at that a lot of times.
Wow, that guy's name is Jonathan Green.
Yeah, no.
He's awesome, man. Shoot. Hey, dude. So that's the chart right there, right? And that's talking. So that's where the sweet spot is between 6.5 and 7.0. They say like 6.8 for hydro is the.
Yeah, I like between 5.8. I mean,
Your company is named, or the company is
that
named
why they
5.8.
named that, you know.
So you go a little. And by the way, this matters if you're in media or not.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate how he said. I appreciate how he said whether you're in inert,
So
whether you're in something inert, or whether you're in media, because it's gonna. Certain things in the media are going to drag it around a little bit more, whereas in something inert like cocoa or hydro, you know, Rockwool blocks.
Rockwool's
like
a perfect example.
You know, I mean, Rockwool's inert, but it's also kind of naturally neutral, in which you still want it to be. In my opinion, you want different pH ranges through different times of the plant life cycle. Like I generally have mine a little bit lower in veg. You know, I'll clone it like 5.5. And acid, like I just say to people there, acid produces roots, you know, and then as soon as that's going to catch, you're going to be at 5.7, 5.8, because that's where the phosphorus is going to be available.
Okay.
Phosphorus is the biggest one that I always say to people matters with pH, because you'll see a lot of people, they'll get that purple stem, which is basically essentially a bruising because the phosphorus isn't moving through the plant, you know, and a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, I have a phosphorus deficiency. 9 times out of 10, and by that I mean 10 times out of 10, you don't have a phosphorus deficiency, because like I say to folks, if you're using pH down is not usually going to be phosphoric acid. Very few people are using citric acid. Some are, but most are using phosphoric acid, in which that is phosphorus, in which your nutrients already have phosphorus in them. So you're not experiencing a phosphorus deficiency. You're experiencing a lockout, in which first thing I'll say to anyone is like, look, if someone calls me and they say, oh, I have a phosphorus deficiency, what's your pH? It's the first question.
And by the way, if
what's
we're
your
talking pH, we might as well say that we're not talking pH of the water that you're putting in there. We're talking pH of the media at the root zone.
Yeah,
which,
and that, you know, and again, you know, we just did a whole episode on pH where, you know, it really stands for potential of hydrogen. But I think the thing that people misunderstand is that when it's higher than 7, it's not necessarily alkaline, but there's a certain amount of bicarbonates in there, you know, and that's actually one of the things that people kind of don't.
Bicarbonates raise, acids lower the pH.
You know, but that's not necessarily a measure of alkalinity. It's a measure of amount of bicarbonates, you know, and so there needs to be that balance in which
if these guys go deep in the paint, Grambo.
Well, if a plant, you know, you think about it, plants are. We have all the 17 essential elements, right?
Sure.
But plants are 45% carbon, 45% hydrogen. So that hydrogen is like super duper important.
Yeah.
You know,
gets it from water though. Yeah. Doesn't get it from nutrients, it gets it from water.
Well, it gets it from some of the nutrients as well, because you know, let's say like an ammonium nitrate is NH4, you know, and H3, you know, so, and that's, you know, we actually have an episode coming up where we explain like no nutrient out there, even if it happens naturally, like the atmosphere is 78% nitrogen,
right? But
that's N2. There still needs to be something that breaks it apart in order for it to be usable to the plant.
Sure.
And all the P2SO4, calcium with carbonate, whatever any nutrients we have, there's no one thing where it's like, this is just calcium, this is just iron, this is it's iron sulfate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the plant needs to go through work in order to split these things. And that's where the pH is important, because it's got to be in the right pH range and this is why I preach against hypochlorous acid, because the
hypochlorous acid is what? Bleach?
Basically, but you know, it's good. People use it to kind of sterilize their root system.
Sure.
But the reality is it kills all the microbes and the beneficials that really do all this work to split these, you know, molecules to make them available to the plant, to make it so that here's nitrogen, take it, plant. And here's iron, take it. You know what I mean?
And then they also do stuff which is they chelate, which is
Yep.
they'll wrap this
Yep.
iron around in a bubble so it can't hit what is it, iron sulfate? It oxidizes,
Yep.
man, and it becomes rust basically.
Well, and with a lot of those, because it's a covalent bond, you know, and the plant is trading elements that it's producing for stuff in the soil. If it's busting out a +1, it's looking for a +1 in which iron's +2, +3. So that's where the chelates come in, because they make those irons and stuff like that look more like +2s, +1s, and they make them more available. And that's the big thing with pH. pH is really about all the elements being on a level playing field. And when it's, like I said, when it's like 5, 6, all of a sudden that phos isn't on a level playing field because everything wants to go by it because it's not in that available range. And so that's really where pH is important. I'm not going to disagree, though. I think the chart needs some tuning. You know, I don't think it's necessarily, it's kind of like Jay and I talk about the VPD charts. You know, like, I'm not against VPD. I just think that those charts are more for like tomatoes and stuff. And we just need to adjust it to our crop, in which I don't think you should ever be growing at 75% pH or 75% humidity. But I think 65% humidity, 83 degrees, 84 degrees, bro, that's the sweet spot, bro. You know?
To what Scott said earlier, I mean, where's your plant from? You know, what's its genetics? These plants grow all over the place. They've been bastardized and bred together, and not every plant needs, like you're saying, the parameters on the VPD chart. But going deep. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in real quick. I'll use this as my Real Growers Recharge shout out. But the microbes are the difference between what they're talking about. This was tested in a sterile media. So it was just a chemical reaction between that chemical, you know, the nutrient, and the root. And that's not how things work in real life. That's certainly how they don't work in micro. If you have microbes that are colonizing that root system, the rhizosphere where the roots meet the soil, they are able to make their own organic acids to lower the pH, bicarbonates to raise the pH. They can put that bubble around nutrient to buffer them and to chelate them. The microbes and not having a sterile environment are the big differentiation. The pH chart is wrong when you consider microbial interaction. Where's the mic, Grambo?
Well,
boom.
And we just, you know, Jay and I did a whole episode on the rhizo sheath, in which they really only came up with that term, I want to say in 2019, in which, you know, that's that micro layer right on the roots where the hairs exist. It's maybe like a couple millimeters that, quite frankly, it's kind of slimy. So if you're looking at it in this whole sterile system and you're like, oh man, there's this slime on my roots.
That's the good slime.
That's the good slime. And the reality is, man, like, there's a lot of different functions that those mycorrhiza and bacillus and glomus and all these different things perform, that without those, it takes the plant so much more energy to make those conversions. Whereas these certain microbes, they have one function, you know, just to change
the plant alive,
just to change this to this with this enzyme, like just to turn this into nitrogen with one thing.
Yeah.
And that's all they're there to do. But they're very specific. And it's like when you go killing that stuff, it makes it, that's why all of a sudden you're here feeding your plant with like 4-0 EC. It's just completely unnecessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to be a dick about it.
I'm loving this, man. Very different than what we normally do. And this is great information, man.
I will finish your shout out, guys. If you want some recharge, hit up realgrowers.com. You producers supporting the show, don't forget you get that 30% off Real Growers products. Thank you, Scotty. Go over to realgrowers.com, check it out. And I got a comment here. Flex. I'm gonna call this a flex from Civis Me Secret. That's what I got.
You got it, man. Crush this one. This is so funny, man.
Hold on, I gotta poof up a little bit, bro.
Get puffy, man.
I've been growing since before chlorophyll was invented. My plants photosynthesize out of fear, not light. I don't even need fans. The air circulates itself out of respect. My tent doesn't get spider mites. Spider mites have to sign an NDA. You're all out there flexing about PPFD, and I'm here making trichromes grow on my walls. My roots have better credit score than you. I once whispered to a seed, and it germinated in 0.3 seconds just to impress me.
Oh my God. Do this in Steven Seagal voice, man. Other growers use timers. My light sense my aura. My relative humidity.
Sounds like the most interesting man in the
That's
world.
what it is, man. My relative humidity stays locked at 69% because it knows who runs the jungle. Yeah, this is good, man. Oh my God. One time I opened a jar and 3 dispensaries closed permanently out of shame. It's good, right? My terp profile is classified by the UN. And if my weed hits your lungs, your ancestors cough. Boom! Mike effing drop, man. All right.
Oh,
Man, I'll drop
that's
it.
great. Let's get a revisit. It's nice to revisit some shiz with a guest in studio like Gabe. And you got some opinions on everything. Good on the mic. So this one we covered smoking on the job. We had a couple of comments to spark some conversation. So this is from Edward. It says the general rule of thumb on the job is don't smoke till you get the job done without thinking. I am a hella arc welder in a position welding like thank you, Heliarc. In a position welding is like breathing for me. So smoking just lets me stay focused and on a puddle, whether it's overheard vertically or
Overhead.
welding
What
jargon.
the hell, man? This guy's a welder. He does overhead welding. He does vertical welding. He can weld on a tuna tower and a diaphragm.
Dude, his puddle and Heliarc threw me off. Okay, I got it.
You stay on puddle, bro. I Googled it to see what that meant, man. Yeah, don't lose the puddle, bro. All right, man. Hey, this one was last week, man. I thought it was cool. And Gabe, I thought I'd ask you, since you work in the cannabis industry, how do you handle smoking at work? I have a business too, and sometimes my guys screw up, and I go, "Hey, man,"
or
you know what? Yeah,
your prior job, construction as well.
Well, and I would say, having done construction for 14 years, I used to be a block and bricklayer, and there was nothing, when I was doing split herringbone fireboxes, there was definitely some times where I needed to go smoke a bowl just to keep my head in the right plate. Because a lot of people wouldn't think that helps you focus, but it definitely does, And so I would say, I'm kind of with these guys where like, hey man, like if you're visibly like can't get your shit done on the job site, then like maybe that's something that you need to think about. But it's funny. I was just in Italy last week. And I was sitting at lunch, and there's all these Italian stonemasons, and they're drinking wine with lunch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like, there's a lot, and like, I think for a lot of us, like that culture shouldn't be any different. And it's like, hey, man, these guys were all going back to work and getting the job done and doing the thing, and like, so my thing is like, as long as you can handle your stuff and your work's not all messed up, then like, I'm fine with it. It's definitely safer. I know you guys have been talking about just drinking versus cannabis in general, and it's so funny because I just saw an article about how like a lot of the craft breweries are starting to close down.
Yeah,
and like if you had asked me in like 2019, I would have told you like, no way, man, this is never going away. And like, it seems like society in general is just kind of drinking less, and not for nothing, man. There you go, Grambo. It seems like there's a certain, like every year we gain a state legally. I think we're at 42 medical, 24 recreational. We may even be at 25.
Wow.
But that, I mean, and I've always said like, that was the tipping point. I remember at some point, I think I had heard that once there is 25, like the federal government legally needs to look at.
What do you mean? They're morons. Do you know how much money they can't get anything done, man? It's so frustrating.
It's not. And
they can't figure out how to collect money.
Yeah, no, it's
Why'd you get me started, Grambo?
it's pretty insane to
That's
think.
triggered.
But I mean, we're further than we were. So
Frank Zappa said it best. All right. I don't care if you're on drugs as long as you can do your job. But the problem with drugs is this: a-holes use drugs as an excuse for being an a-hole.
you're not wrong.
That's Frank Zappa, man. And Rody Ratonga gave us that comment. Thank you so much. That is perfect. Yeah, keep your stuff together.
Make sure. I mean, yeah, beer. People who sell beer they drink beer while they're out.
They
You
do.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would encourage anybody who works in a cultivation to be trying what they cultivate. But again, keep it reasonable. Don't be out getting bombed.
Hey, speaking of beer, man, can we shout out to Operation 1620?
One of those, sure. How does that correlate? What do
Because
you got?
I was in New Orleans last week, and I went and drank some beer and went to the bathroom. And as I was peeing, look at that, man. Operation 1620 was
Nice.
there, man. Front and center, bro.
Nice.
Come
Are you a fan of
on,
the
that's cool.
stickered bathroom? Do you like that? I don't know. As a
Yeah, I
proprietor,
should bring some, man. I should DGC every bathroom, man. I don't know what that means.
Everybody.
I DGC'd the bathroom, bro.
Show us your DGC
Anyway.
stickers. Give you a free
Yes.
recharge, right? Good to go.
Hey, man, yeah, I thought we'd get in. It might be a terrible segue to the cannabis and alcohol conversation.
Hold on. Before we do that, I'm going to do a couple
Yes.
shout outs because you just mentioned shout outs to some DGC producers. Shout out to Operation 1620. Made some friends at the DGC Cup, which again will be happening this year. If you guys want to be notified, DGCcup.com is where you can get on the mailing list. Thanks, Banner, for getting that going. But I had a feel good comment and a kind of funny one. Professor Stinky Pants just became a DGC producer and sent us a message over, Scotty. This is an open letter to the DGC content creators, okay? So it says, I'll skip the whole story of my life and why I choose to love this blessed plant. I'm pretty much like most. It was May of this year I found the DGC, and in a message from God, I found myself tearing apart the basement, a half bath that only the bravest of souls would use, wall-to-wall red velvet shag. Love it.
Wow.
Says by
What is that
August.
intermission from God. That's the Blues Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Grambo's too early for you, Blues Brothers?
No,
You know?
that's a staple. Come on.
All right, just making sure.
I'm picturing, I mean, what an awesome place to set up a grow. If you have an unused bathroom near a grow, that's a bonus. But he says a half a bath that only the bravest of souls would use. I'm just picturing that, like, there's one down there if you're willing to use it. But hold on.
Dirtiest toilet in Scotland, man. What
By
movie's
August,
that? Anybody know that? Train spotting? No? All right, forget it.
By August, I had 2 jars of dank nugs. I told myself I'd become a producer if I pulled this off and promised myself I'd reach out to y'all. Thank you. Thank you for gentlemen. Changed my life. You and the DGC, it says, I'll always be growing. Prohibition sucks. I would like to thank also Mrs. Pants, Pretty Pants, for giving us a lovely and happy home to grow in. Right on, Professor Stinky Pants. Love it. You like that?
Of course, his wife is, what would it be? Mrs. Pretty Pants? Is that what he called her?
Yes.
That's
Yes, exactly. Mrs. Pants or Pretty Pants. I got another one here. Marzig. Marzig just became an executive producer. That is freaking awesome. Associate producer. And just to put diversity in the DGC, I'm on Marzig's profile. And about me says I'm 69 years old and retired. I spent 30 years as a retail meat cutter, and then the last 15 as a custom 1911 pistol smith, which I bet you smoke when you smith on those pistols, right?
I don't know, man. I smoked weed out of a cannon this week in New Orleans, bro. But wow, that's pretty cool, man. Hey, then look at what they're using. Grow style is hydroponics using 100% cocoa in auto pots, man. That is an easy way, man. You a fan of sip buckets?
I haven't used them personally. I know Jaron absolutely loves them.
That shit comes from sip buckets. His weed does.
Yeah.
He does the like auto pot sort of.
That's what
system.
they
So,
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very,
that's what
very
this dude
So
similar.
does.
Marzig's don't.
Yeah, no, I more just do straight pots, but no, I've heard nothing, especially with New Millennium. I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, that's what I use. And for a guy that, like, I came back from a 4-day trip and I didn't want to go in my grow till the next day. I showed up late at night. I don't have to worry about
Everything
it,
was
man.
cool, yep.
Yeah, everything was cool, man.
You gotta love that.
Shout out to nice guy Kenny. He's probably listening. I did have him come water my clones one time.
It's good, it's good to have people.
It's good to
Let
have
me round
friends.
these out. Let me round these out here because I got Trash Bandit, associate producer. What's up, Trash Bandit? And there are a lot of DDC running autos because I'm on Real DDC every day, and I see a lot of posts on autos. Trash Bandit is doing his first auto flower grow, and it's looking great. Denmark grows, Scotty. I mean, shout out DDC Worldwide. What's up, Denmark grows, as well as Variant. Don't forget Variant, who in the chat today mentioned is only using HID lighting in his grow, not going to run LEDs at all, and doing breeding. So Very has his eyes on the plant slot, but go check out Variant's profile if you want to get your hands on some genetics. And all this happens at realddc.com. Come on over, free to join or step it up, $10 a month. The grower dividends discount on realddc.com merch pays itself over and over. And more importantly, you're going to feel great for making this show happen. You're gonna feel great. You're gonna look good.
I love it, man. Sorry, I'm looking forward to the notes about cannabis and alcohol.
Bring it. What do you got?
Yeah, just that these come from that I was in New Orleans last
New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay.
Okay.
And yeah, it was crazy, man. It was definitely different. I was in a riot, bro. I was hanging out, and there was a riot. I didn't know NBA something boy. NBA, I don't know what his name is, but there was NBA Youngboy was there, man. And then after his concert, nice, there was just cops everywhere, man. That place is insane. People smoke weed everywhere, which was cool. Grambo, I don't know.
Was that your first time in New Orleans?
No, I'd been there for Mardi Gras before, but I
yeah.
figured I would mature in 30 years.
I was gonna say, you've been
Too many weird smells when you walk around that city.
Bro, the worst. I mean, I had a homeless guy stand next to me or 6 feet away from me trying to buy some beer at the liquor store. And I had to run out. I couldn't finish the transaction, man. I felt bad, but by the way, when I was in that liquor store, though, they had CBD out, dude. It was rough. They had CBD beverages selling right next to the liquor, man, which was cool. I think I have
like it.
I think I have a pick. Grambo, I'm making that's at the bar, believe it or not. So then I went to a bar. Yeah, there you go. That's at the liquor store. And I think it was CBD and THC. But look, that's right next to the wine, right?
Yeah, they're about it.
They are about it, right?
I know they have reciprocity in New Orleans as well. So if you have a medical card from another state, you can buy cannabis in New Orleans. And it's just because I was consulting for a grow down there. And I think it's just New Orleans that has the reciprocity.
I'd never seen them ID a person the whole time I was there. I've never seen them. They are so cool about partying.
It's wild too because
their industry.
It's wild too because you can like buy alcohol in a bar and like just walk out of the bar and walk down the street and go into another bar.
Dude, I was with some drinkers.
Nobody stops you and they give you glass.
Hey, I got one thing. So I was with some drinkers and I was so over it because they'd wake up and be like, breakfast of champions. By the way, Grambo,
Yes.
can you see the $120 Bloody Mary?
Yeah, I have right here.
Dude. There you go. There's your $120 Bloody Mary.
Wow. It has a whole
lobster in it.
I'm about that life.
Yeah, any excuse to drink, man. But anyway, they were drinking early, and then I was smoking, just hitting my little vape pen or whatever. And then I came home back and was hanging with Banner and kind of was a little judgy about it. And it was the same. Banner goes, well, what do you think? You're hitting your vape pen at 9 a.m. while they're tanking beers.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty chat. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, the thing I say to people quite a bit is like, if I drank the way I smoke cannabis, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
my liver would be absolutely cashed.
Yep.
And so I think like for me, that's the biggest difference. You know, I'll be honest with you too. Like I think there's a certain component of it that helps fight off cancer and like shit like that. Like I think having like a pretty high cannabinoid content in your body, I really do think like there's a certain amount of it that's like somewhat healthy. I don't think smoking it is necessarily the healthiest way, but same thing. Like one of the reasons I smoke hash is because, or concentrates, I should say, is because a lot of that is temperature of ingestion. You're getting the least amount of carcinogens, you know, which is generally in that low 400 range.
I have to grab it. This thing.
It's so good.
Yes,
you know,
Grambo.
but arguably,
no idea.
Arguably, the best way to ingest it would be eating it. Safest way.
The skin of white grapes. Is what I get off
you know.
this,
So, but yeah, I mean, you know, that's where I think we differ with a lot of people. But that stigma is starting to drop off because you have a lot of states like Pennsylvania where they went straight up and they were like, oh, hey, it's a better option than heroin. So
it sure is.
So it's like, you know, and there's a lot of states that have heroin problems back on the East Coast that were like, hey, if it gets people off heroin, then like we're about it.
That's what 3/4 of the comments were from the last show that we did. We're talking about California. So actually nobody mentioned that.
Yeah.
But just about it being really an exit drug as far as, because dude, being completely clean and sober, it's not nearly as much fun as being stoned, being high, you know?
100%. And like, I'll be the first one to admit that like, my body does better when I burn every day. It's weird for me because if I'm smoking flower, it's definitely harder to quit smoking flower than it is extract. Like if I'm traveling and I'm somewhere where I can't take hash with me, like it's easier to kind of not smoke hash than if I'm just smoking flower and stop that. Like I quit smoking cigarettes 25 years ago, but I still like the act of like, that's where like joints and like bong hits are nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do like to smoke a joint, just chill out by myself, and
But I think it's different for everybody too. Like I can't handle my alcohol very well. You know what I mean? Like I'm just one of the reasons I don't drink is I say to people all the time, I'm just not good at it.
I'm terrible. I tried to hang with these pros, man. I was so hungover. Oh my God. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, and like not for nothing, Jayhawk, dude. Jayhawk will put down a 6-pack and like you wouldn't even know it. Dude.
Sure.
Like, that dude, he is professional, man.
He seems like it. Jayhawk is Jaron, I imagine.
Yeah, he keeps it together when he drinks, man. Jaron can put down some beers. And like if I put down half the beers he did, I'd be face down.
Hey, New Orleans was cool, man. I think about Grambo, will you click? Dude, the mechanical bull. I actually wound up at a bar with a mechanical bull.
I think I've been in that place. It's all padded around the bull.
Yeah, man. Everybody fell off, but just for the fun of it. And I don't know if you can play it, but God, it was so much fun, man. Dude, now that's a bar, right? I told her about you, Grambo. I did.
Yeah, she messaged me.
Yeah. About don't ever compliment a hooker because they just won't leave you alone after that. I was like, hey, good job, man.
Unrelated story to
Unrelated
this nice
story.
girl here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But I walked out of there and
That guy's wearing a pink cowboy hat, eh? Is this correct?
He's a baller.
All right.
I like his style.
I'm out.
God, so New Orleans is a fun place if you want to go party, man.
What's your field report here? You ran into somebody there. Like you talked to an owner?
I talked to an owner of a CBD beverage company. I ran into this guy, and it was an interesting perspective because he is a real pro, a real beverage pro, came from big business and has a plan to just roll out multi-state operation. It was it was good tasting. And by the way, I asked him, I go, only got 5 milligrams? That's lame. And he goes, we got 5, 10, 20, and 50 milligrams. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming.
That's going to be the preferred, like when it comes to the FDA and stuff, that's going to be the preferred delivery method. I hate to say it, but it is.
And, you know, I hate to say it because they get you sloshed for a long time. You want to talk about not being out on the road?
We had Dr. Riley Kirk on. You guys should have her on the show. She's absolutely brilliant. She's amazing. But I asked her, I said, hey, why is it like me at like 200 pounds can take like 20 milligrams and I get hammered, and my girlfriend at like 110 pounds can take like 100 milligrams and she's fine? And she's like, dude, it's all about these enzymes in your liver.
Right.
And like you either have them or you don't. And so like for people like me, like edibles are dangerous, dude. Like I end up like at 50 milligrams, like you could arguably put me in the hospital.
Wow.
I literally start to lose my hearing like at 50 milligrams and up, and get a little like I gotta sit down, like I'm off, because once my hearing goes, it starts messing with my balance, and it's happened in two public places awkwardly.
Oh, I'm 100% with you, dude. It's like you get like almost disassociative. You're like, dude, is this just weed, man?
Yeah.
Like, what's in this weed?
It is a different buzz, and I really don't prefer it because that makes me dumb. I like to be high, but I don't like to be dumb.
Yeah, no, that's where the edible gets me, man. So it'll be interesting to see how they start to navigate these things, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's common.
They're navigating it. I had a news story. There's been a few trending, we'll say, about, hey, when people have access to THC drinks, they're drinking less alcohol. They're tracking it. They're doing surveys. So this is out actually yesterday, this article about the alcohol industry steps up lobbying on hemp drinks as Congress debates THC ban. And some of these companies, and they don't get specific, you guys can tell me about, are they lobbying completely against it? Are they lobbying this way? But the companies that are heavily involved with Congress here, it says some of the most notable players weighing in with Congress on cannabis issues last quarter include the office of Colorado Governor Jared Polis, Altria, which I think is
Altria.
That's a
giant company.
Yeah.
Isn't that the owner of Marlboro?
I'm not positive.
I'll Google, man. I'll Google.
Yeah,
These is where it gets Molson Coors. That's obvious. They're into alcohol, but PayPal and DoorDash. That's
PayPal wants to take weed money, man. It's billions of dollars of weed money. You should be able to use your PayPal account. That's how they get paid, man. DoorDash should be able to bring you weed.
DoorDash actually just put in a section. It says THC and CBD as the section. I click on it. There's no options yet, but the tab is there.
Yes, Altria Group does own Marlboro.
Yeah, tobacco.
Yeah.
So
subsidiary. Their subsidiary is Philip Morris. How big are these guys? Holy
welcome
crap.
to America, baby.
Oh my God.
They own Kraft.
They own Kraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Okay, now I'm getting disturbed. I was going to take it back to saying, so what would the Amazon angle be? You're not going to be able to get flour, but you'll be able to get like drinks or products or infused foods. Or
why would you not be able to get flour? It comes in a jar, and that jar they have 48 hours. So it's everything. We're in America, dude, and you get anything in 2 days on Amazon. But why not get flour?
These are all companies lobbying for it.
Yeah. Because they want to jump in. The feds need to get their act together. You're not going to stop this.
Well, and again, I mean, nationally, I think we did $30 billion in sales last year. And that doesn't include any of the black market numbers, in which, Gene Traders and I have talked about it. We would argue that the number for the black market is exactly the same. So right now you have when this becomes legal, you have people who are in the military, people who work for the government, like all these new people, all these people who like haven't ever done it purely because they're like, well, it's still federally illegal. Yeah. The state of Idaho, for instance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as clear as them lobbying for it or against it. I think they just want to make sure they're part of it and they're not losing out. Hey, we're losing out on our sales right now.
Right.
So let's get rid of these unregulated, smaller businesses throwing drinks out there. And you don't want to mess around because this last quarter, Hennessy USA joined the action. You don't mess with Hennessy.
Hey, do you really know a guy named Gene Traders? That's cool.
His name is Lou, but yeah, his handle is Gene Traders.
That's a good name, man.
Yeah. He's. I was trying to get him to come out for your event so you could check it out this year, but no, he's a good dude.
Hey, speaking of, oh yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of events, man, we are going to Michigan next week, sir. You know Michigan a little bit, right?
Yeah. You guys are going up to Pontiac.
Yes.
To Detroit.
Yes. You spend a lot of time there?
No, I haven't spent a ton of time there, but I've spent enough to know that like a lot of those towns are where they built like a lot of the parts for Ford vehicles, Chryslers, and Chevrolets.
And I'll bet you most of those
stuff like that. But Pontiac, I mean, that's named after the Pontiac Indians, and that's where that car was created.
Hey, how many of those empty factories do you think are now commercial grows?
Not as many as you would think.
Really?
It's definitely.
Shout
out to Shark in Detroit, but he's got like a little underground operation that
It's a man named Shark.
Yeah, well, we'll keep him as his code name.
That's cool.
But he bought a warehouse in Detroit, and like he's got, a nice amount of lights in there, just doing the thing. Like no one would ever know. It looks like an abandoned warehouse, dude. They park all the cars inside.
Look, I don't want to insult.
Man, Shark. It's cool.
I don't want to insult anybody that might be driving a fine Pontiac out there, but I think one of my sayings was like, I don't like to stereotype, but if I was in law enforcement, I'd probably pull over every other Grand Am and score. I'm like, the Grand Am is just it's just an interesting one. Hopefully I'm not pissing anybody off in the chat. If you have a Grand Am, it's okay.
What's the matter with the Grand Am, man? Huh? My weed dealer used to have a Grand Am.
I like the Grand Prix better.
Whoa. All right, we're off track, man. We're talking about great Hyundai. Wow. Pontiac cars. Right? The
Let me bring it back.
Classic. All right. Mic drop.
Before you go to some of these comments here, I want to remind everybody a great way to get awesome gear for your grow that's DGC vetted is to go to realdgc.com/deals, baby. Deals. The coupon codes are listed over there, whether it's Real Growers, Lost Coast Plant Therapy. There we go. AC Infinity rocking. Today, I'm going to tell you about Pulse Grow, because Pulse Grow is insurance for your grow, guys. You can get into their Pulse Zero meter. It's a really small guy for cheap. It monitors everything, and there it is, notifies you about, look, all right, little tiny guy can go anywhere in your grow. People have been using them in their clone dome, their drying rooms, mushroom cultivation. But you set all the parameters to get notified when anything's off, whether your lights are off, the wrong cycle comes on at the wrong time, humidity, tracks your VPT, current data, historical data, down to the minute of your entire grow. It's an awesome unit. PulseGrow.com, coupon code DUDE. And they also have the Pro if you want to be a pro. If you want to measure CO2, if you want to be able to measure light spectrum and PPFD, it's an awesome unit as well. Everyone's wanting to be a pro, right, Scotty? I notice trucks now are marketing to guys that I want the pro model, even though they're not a pro. But they want the pro model.
Max, bro. The Pro Max. All right. Now you're pissing everybody off, dude. All right. All good, man. Hey, Gabe, I got a couple questions I would like to ask, man, as far as a little get to know you. So I already know your grow style. As far as strains and breeders, you got any favorites? You got anything you're excited about growing right now?
I mean, yeah, as always, shout out to Archive. Fletcher, man. Fletcher's the homie. I always love running his gear. Golden Coast Genetics, man. Golden Coast is super underground, but if you're looking for that roadkill skunk and some of those old school genetics,
that old school roadkill skunk, like the one that made
skunk. Yeah, he's the garlic skunk. That's the one that he tries to keep it low key because he doesn't want people breeding with it. But the reality is that stuff's skunk all day. Golden Coast Genetics, not to be confused with Gold Coast Genetics. And then the homies over at Mothership Labs, I've been dealing with those guys. They have all my genetics backed up. They're a great lab as far as if you're looking for kind of some wacky off the wall stuff.
What do you mean lab?
They do tissue culture and stuff like that. So I have all my gear backed up through those guys.
Jesse from Mothership was actually at the Cup doing tissue culture live. So
yeah, you are right, man. Yeah. So tissue culture is it's an easy way or a cool way to store a huge genetics library.
Yep.
How do you do it? Do you get your own culture? Do you leave it in the?
I just take, so there's different ways that Jesse will do it. He has different packages, but basically I'll take my genetics to him. He'll put them in a petri dish, or he can take them and put them in like a nodal seed. So it's like a synthetic seed. It's basically like the node and like it's clear, and he can give them to you. You can take them home and put them in your fridge, in which they're good for like 12 to 18 months. If at any point you want to bring them out, you bring them back to him and he brings them out. Or you can pay a storage fee and he'll store your genetics for you, which is what the service that I have with him. And then anytime I want to get my genetics, I just have to schedule it out.
Is there a website, or how much is the service?
I think the website is Mothership Labs. I'll have Grambo get the info and stuff.
Well,
they're actually just finishing out. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. That's Jesse right there. Tell him that you talked to Gabe. He'll set you up, get a little discount something.
He's his website's not fully updated, but we're hanging out with him, and he said on Instagram he's low key high tech, so you can go check him out over there. That's
they're building out the lab and stuff, and then of course always the guys at Sour Family Farms. I'm actually running their Elemento D right now, in which the Elemento Z was one of the ones that really stood out last year.
And on behalf of Gabe, also we got a shout out to Jake Grambo over at Midnight Roots, the most famous cannabis strain. I want to get Banner to try some of that smoked catfish. Banner and I, we love those terps. I think you'd dig it, Banner.
Wow.
Foul. Halitosis.
Foul.
48 hours, man. Hey, real quick about that tissue culture, because it's so interesting, just in case people don't understand or don't know about it. They actually take like some cells. They'll scrape like the inside of the meristem or whatever, but they'll scrape some cells out, and they will grow a new plant from those cells, and it cleans that plant up right back to the beginning. I believe it gets rid of viruses.
You can get rid of HPLVD. Yep. You can get rid of past pathogens. I mean, it basically takes it down to a cell. Yeah, it's funny because on the Jug Dealers page, we just started like an After Dark channel. Whoa. So we did a video of
what happens there, man.
Well, that's all the stuff that we.
Are there a lot of jugs on that channel?
No,
yeah, a little bit.
Jugs After Dark. I see where you're going with that.
But there's a lot of content that we would maybe get in trouble for on YouTube. But one of the videos we have up there is Jesse doing it, and he makes it look just so easy. He just goes in there. Literally, what he pulls off is like the size of a grain of sand.
Yeah.
You know, and he's working all under the microscope on a glass plate, but it's a really good way. You know, when you look at strawberries, and there's a lot of other fields where that's how they propagate things.
Well, you can also propagate like 10,000 of them if you want.
And I wouldn't recommend. You need to have an extra month kind of scheduled if that was the way you were to propagate in general.
When these things come out, they come out like a tiny little sprig, and then you've got to coax them into, it takes a few weeks for them to get the size of a clone.
So that's something where it's definitely a little more challenging. But they actually have a service where you can set up a subscription, and they'll send you domes, of stuff that's ready to go of your own genetics.
Yeah, because it's a big process to get them from like a stage 1 to stage 4.
Yep.
It is a big, you need an incubator.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty sweet, though. And those guys are really good at
what
they
do. There you go, Grambo. Look at those in the test tubes right there.
Yeah, there's another one I'm actually looking for.
I forget that you know all this stuff because you hang. It's the Jug Dealers and Grambo show.
Yeah, I'm over there hanging out. When people give me credit for learning a lot, I have to give a lot of credit to you, Banners, the dude, and Gabe and Jaron for sure.
Chat, show some love because Grambo has exceeded my expectations like by 100, and you have just, what do they say, grabbed the bar and set it all the way up there, brother. And I'm not. I guess I'll kiss your ass a little bit, dude. You go above and beyond, man. Our channel, your channel. Gabe's channel and Jaren's channel, man. So you're a badass, brother.
I'm a little bit proud. Just actually last night I crossed 10,000 subs over on my channel. So it's not real till you hit 10,000, and now I have 10,000 subscribers. So thank you, DGC Juggernauts.
I've watched your show. It's actually good.
What I appreciate is the different level of knowledge being spread. Yeah, I don't see, one of the reasons we got started on our show And it's funny because before I ever had the show with Jaron, I would go places and people would be like, "Oh, dude grows, Jaron," and I'd be I'd be like, "Yeah," I'm like, one day, and now finally, like, we've kind of gotten the same accreditation as you guys, but it's like, I appreciate being in that same level where it's like people look at us as educational and not just like Brett was saying, like that bro science.
Yeah.
Like that,
it is cool though, man. It's, all shapes and colors it takes. The way Grambo explains things on his channel is so much different than the way you guys explain them on Jug Dealers to the way I explain it on Scotty Real 420. I mean, it's pretty cool, man. And there's a way to do it for everyone, I think.
100%. 100%.
There's some people that don't like me, man. It's weird.
Well, we just did that. Hey, look, there's a lot of people that don't like me.
What can you do?
We just did a whole show on, how. Did we air that one yet, Grambo? The disappearance of the grow stores?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's like, for the longest time for us, like, that was the barber shop. Like,
that's where you got your cuts.
That was where you got your knowledge, where you got your cuts. If you had a problem, like the guy at the grow store was the guy who was able to answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And being as people are, so much more comfortable with ordering online now, the grow stores have gone away, and so has that knowledge. It's kind of like the bookstore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one goes to the bookstore.
Dude, you're my age. Remember picking up girls at the bookstore, man? That was the best place.
I remember picking up girls at the roller skating rink.
Damn. We are the same. And by the way, there's a lot of Philly love in here, man. Everybody digs your Eagles hat.
Yeah, go Birds. Let's go.
You say you're from Philly, but I don't trust it, man. This is not Wooder right here.
That's all right.
And it's not gas, bro. That is gas, man.
It's funny because like we were talking about, I lived out west longer than I grew up in Philly, but I'll always be Philly, man.
I don't tell anybody this. I normally rep Florida. Yeah, but I was born in Philadelphia. The first 10 years of my life, I learned how to say Wooder and gas there. And gas, it's gas, man.
It's so funny you said the water is not the same, but
I love it. Anyway, got a lot of Philly love. Yeah, Gabe, the perpetual Terpster. Gabe always rocking the Eagles hat. Go Birds, man. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hell yeah.
I can hear, before we wind it out, we did have to take it back to alcohol versus cannabis. You made a post in Real GGC for the producers to chime in on, and there were some good comments in here, so I wanted to feature a couple. This first one coming in from Mr. Chuck. DGC says, I was one of those loud, obnoxious drunks. I drink little to none these days, smoking more, fewer edibles, but still always edibles. Cannabis has changed my social life completely. I'm laid back, still an asshole, but only when I need to be. When the situation dictates, I go from laid back to whatever the situation calls for. However, with cannabis as my primary recreational activity, I am in control. I decide how I behave, always now, not Carly or Carlos. Carly was a whiny, sad drunk, and Carlos was a volatilized, fearless, but reckless time bomb. You knew he was going to explode, just not how or when. Says, I'm considered I'm considered a decent human being since replacing the tequila and Captain with Cushion cookies. I still have a beer to several now and then, and if the occasion calls for a shot, I can responsibly participate without losing control and also save money. You brought this up in the show too, Scotty. No alcohol tab at the end of the night. That can add up pretty quick. It says, I can usually barter with most bartenders these days. A nice little 12-ounce jar of jelly or sauce seems like good math to me. Saying he brings pre-rolls. It's not really what it is. Brings pre-rolls of what's in the jars to share with the bartenders. They can even pick out their own flavor. So I love if you're still in a place you can barter and trade. Cannabis,
I'm bartering and trading, man. Some guys like, hey, I'll cook you dinner and trade you a whole bunch of mushrooms. Culinary YouTube, okay? Because he tasted some of my weed, man. So me and my wife are going to go over and hang out. And yeah, that was the guy that took me on a spiritual journey at Tour de Fat last year, man.
I'd like to see like more of a social club aspect.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the big thing that's missing is like there's not really many places for people who consume cannabis to like get
Yeah.
together. And
Yeah.
I think that's really the biggest thing that's missing is because there's still bars for people, and even traffic at bars is down, from what it used to be when
Just like
Not house anymore, bro.
COVID. But it'd be
Just-
nice if there's more places like Tetra or the Astor Club
Yeah.
or the Roaring 420 Lounge in Buffalo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Check out the next comment, Gabe. I was literally going to feature was Holy Toledo 420. What up, DTC producer says, in my area in Massachusetts, cannabis has taken over. I went to a bar the other day that my buddy owns and asked him how his business is. He told me flat out more people are smoking cannabis than drinking now, and he's trying to turn it into a smoking lounge. So that on point. That is a huge. I like to get out myself. I work from home. At the end of the day, maybe a couple, 3 times a week. The reason I like to go to have a pint at the microbrewery is because I know I'm gonna strike up conversation with somebody there. I'm outside my 4 walls. I want to talk to somebody else other than my immediate family for a little bit. There's nowhere I can do that socially with cannabis in my area. I mean, there are probably here and there, but not nearly enough where it's accepted. And heaven forbid you combine them both.
Where was it? Are you north of Vancouver?
I'm just Vancouver Metro, like a little west.
What was it? Was it
East.
Hastings Brothers? What was the place?
Blunt, there's on Hastings Street. There is Blunt Brothers, Mark
Oh,
Engineers
Blunt
out
Brothers,
there.
Yeah. Well, I remember going in there in the 90s.
Yes, I'm saying
And
that
they
was
had
25
that
years ago.
smoking room, but I wasn't from Canada, so I couldn't go in there. But like there was like this room where you could see everybody like
Yes.
burning in there.
Scotty and I had a volcano session with Mark Emery when we visited in 03 or 04.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah,
I was just like,
what's his
this
name?
dude, I was getting really, really too high anyway. And I was looking at him like, this guy's he's like one of those talk at you kind of dudes.
Yeah,
I was really high.
Stoner.
Anyway, you're right. Yeah, there are places still like that, Gabe, but you got to find them out. I got to drive, 45 minutes this way or that way. There just needs to be more of them. It needs to be socially accepted. People need to not freak out. Like maybe it should be allowed out on the open patios. And don't get me wrong, where I live in British Columbia, it's totally decriminalized. People do smoke a lot of places, and nobody's giving a shiz. But we need more.
Yeah.
I like the way it is in New York currently. Like I've seen some pretty cool when we went and did the Billies last year. They had a club that I think Stag Select is like part owner of. And like they had like drinks on the right, like at the bar, and on the left they had like a whole dab bar with like dab tenders, like all with the thermo. I mean, it was like really well done.
What you said? The guy's name was Slag Selective.
Static Selected. He's a DJ. He's part of.
Oh, you know the coolest name people, man. My name's Scott.
He's part of Action Bronson's crew. But yeah, those guys. New York is definitely pushing the limits when it comes to like what they can get away with. I really enjoyed the scene in Barcelona this year. I thought Barcelona club scene was like pretty, I mean, a little expensive, but it was, I mean, everything there was pretty good. I can't complain.
The weed's good over there.
It wasn't bad. I mean, a lot of it's from America, and the hash is pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah, give us a fall prohibition report. You were recently in Europe, man. Come on.
yeah, I mean, well, I was in Italy last week, but I brought my own hash there.
Flex. You brought your own hash to Italy,
Yeah.
dude. you got balls, man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It was Aquaphor.
Yeah, right. Wow, man. When I go to other countries, I get freaked out.
Yeah, me too. That's why he said,
Yeah.
his brother, Rabe.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's Jabe, man.
Jabe.
All right?
Yeah, his
Jabe.
his sister.
But yeah, no, it's not like, I mean, you just gotta, I mean, dude, if you had seen Barcelona and the shit that people went in with earlier this year for Spanibus,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it was crazy.
Great quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got stuff from oh damn it, the Spanish dude. I can't remember who it is, but I mean, dude, there was stuff from Archive there that was amazing. Like,
So good growers.
like
over there,
I mean,
man.
not for nothing, the dude from First Smoke of the Day, Lance, like he was rolling around that whole show with like jars that obviously he didn't pick up there. You know what I mean?
Got
of like
it.
his flower that was awesome. Like everybody came.
Oh,
See, Barcelona, like everybody came so correct. No one cared. Like no one cared.
That's
It was
awesome.
it was the best.
yeah.
It was the best group of really good flower I've seen anywhere outside of Emerald Cup. Like I want to say like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I will say that nationally, in my country at least, USA, TSA doesn't care, man.
Nah, they don't.
But don't make it. Like I said, I've had somebody that just 4 jars, and they're like, "What are we doing here, man?"
Gene Traders had a jar taken. Like they. But like, I mean, I'm not. It's not like I'm flying with like a crazy amount.
Sure.
I have like a couple grams. You know what I mean? I'm taking care of my
Nobody
head.
cares.
You know
Hey.
what I mean?
I got one last myth grow question. You're an awesome grower. You know your science. Would you mind 18 versus 24-hour veg? We had a whole bunch of comments about it. Jim says, Jim G says, photosynthesis has got to be exhausting. I think the lights out allows vegetation to rest, getting ready to run like hell the next day. This guy says 24/7 for autos. This is Don Behem. Keeps the temperature stable. This is pretty interesting. No drop in temperature is the key for me. No, because then you don't get humidity spikes when you turn your lights off. It's freaking interesting.
Okay, but you don't need to have temperature changes when your lights go off. Like that's an easy.
Well, I mean, if
Like,
you're in a
that's an
simple temp, yeah, I guess you're right.
I tell people that all the time. 4-degree temperature variance is what promotes powdery mildew. So, for instance, if it's 78 degrees during the day, you don't want it to go below 74 degrees at night.
Wow. Okay.
The reality is, I've seen no difference in keeping your day and nighttime temperatures exactly the same.
Sure.
Like you want to ensure, you want to take a way to really help yourself not get powdery mildew, just run your day and nighttime temperatures exactly the same.
Well, it might take a
You
heater
know,
or something to do
The
that.
reality is I don't like running plants 24 hours a day. One of the biggest reasons is when you switch over to 12-12, you see they bolt more. Like they take off a lot more when you switch into 12-12. So and they stretch. So I really just don't like promoting that kind of growth. I like my plants to sleep. The reality is, like, if you got to spray or do anything like that, you want to be doing it in the night cycle anyway. So like you just want to give yourself that time, not to mention like you're not speeding them up that much. So like why spend the money on electricity? Like let your fucking power bill chill for a couple hours, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's that time of the day where they're charging you more money, like between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. You know, like those are the hours where your rates are higher. So like, why wouldn't you? There's just less advantages to running it 24 hours.
That is big time. You're right, man. If you take that 8 hours off, 8, 16, 20, and you do that during your peak hours, you're saving.
You're just spending more money than you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that peak rate time between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., it costs more money, dude. So like there's just no reason to do it. There's no advantages.
That is interesting because it costs like triple.
Yeah. So it's just like in my mind, like, I've done both. So like, don't get me wrong. It's funny because I was just doing some research yesterday because I'm re-vegging an Oishi that I had outside. We didn't really get a cut of it. So I took all the tops off. I left a lot of material on there, but I was looking at like, hey, how does re-vegging under 24 hours of light affect me versus going under 18 hours of light, in which, I was kind of on the fence about it. I think I'm going to go with the 18 because I want it to be a gentler, like from the research I've been doing, it looks like you'll get like more propensity to single blade first, and then it'll be like a harsher transition.
Really?
Yeah, as opposed to if you go 18, you'll probably see some 3-leaf sets and stuff. In which I talked to Jesse about it, and Jesse was like, dude, even if you get single leaf sets, as long as you get some type of vegetative growth, we should be good to go.
Does Jesse have a cool last name?
Leech.
It's pretty cool, man. All right, it's pretty cool.
But
we can make something out of it, man. Oh, very cool, man.
So yeah,
18 mic drop.
Yeah, that's my. I just think it's better to let plants rest, man. That's just my personal opinion. And then I'll be honest with you, on the autoflower tip, I don't know. Like, I can't speak to it enough that I've actually ever grown autoflowers.
And
But
autoflowers.
I've actually mentioned that myself, in which I'm like, if they autoflower, why the fuck wouldn't you run them 24 hours a day? You know what I mean?
Unless you're hitting your DLI.
Like, let's go. So in that respect, like, I can't speak to that on autoflowers, and I'd love anybody's input on it because, yeah, that's actually been my theory is like, if it doesn't matter, like, just,
Right.
I mean, and I would be curious on autoflowers. Like, the reality is, why wouldn't you just run them on 24 hours a day until they're done flowering?
I mean, as long as you've got light,
Like,
man.
doesn't that seem to be the, like, wouldn't that seem to make sense? Like, just like F it, like, let's just run it 24 hours a day until it's done flowering.
That's what I did to mine,
Do you
man.
comment? Is that what you did?
Yeah, just left it in my veg. I run a 24-hour veg. Just, I probably will change it now, man. I think, now that I think about how much money is in peak hours, I think I'm going to turn them off. Was that I think, Grambo, what's peak, man? Is it, I don't know why you would know this.
In Colorado, yeah.
I think it's like
Somewhere
12
somewhere
to,
between 10 to 6.
yeah,
12 to
it's
6.
it's where all the companies
Yeah.
are using the electricity. all
And
the
as
back end
Bad
stuff.
River Rob says, the Ruderalis is from the land of the midnight sun. So they're actually Rob Bad River fam up there in
Hell
South
yeah.
Dakota.
Robert Morales, man. All right, Scotty Real 420 did an autoflower short that's coming out next week, so you'll have to critique me, sir.
Yes.
Anyone who has a Ruderalis as their last name must.
And we
That must be
mentioned
related to the
Grambo
others.
Grows. We mentioned Scotty Real 420. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Dude Grows Grow Talk. Go ahead over there, banging out those videos twice a week. They're awesome freaking videos, completely different than the Dude Grows show.
Grambo,
Yes.
what did you do to YouTube, man? What happened there, man?
What do you mean?
Did you send someone over their house or something? Suddenly,
They-
what is it? We have one video that just YouTube decided to go nuts with.
Oh yeah. For some reason, it was the video about dispensaries versus home grows.
Yeah.
It got 30,000 in a day. I don't know what's
It's
going on.
up with
Yeah,
that.
so shout out Dude Grows
Oh,
Grow
it's so
Talk.
weird.
Awesome channel. We put a lot of love into it. So go check
We
it
do.
out.
Yeah. It's
Shout out to we got a good comment. Holy Toledo is suggesting decision. I forgot about that product. I like when a product line has a unique product decision from New Mill. And Holy Toledo 420 is saying use it when you flip the flower, it dramatically slows the stretch and speeds up flowering. I literally started seeing small buds after 1 week. I don't know, touch on that before we go quickly, because I like it when you can take a product from somebody's line, even if you're not using the rest of their shiz, and implement it to what you got going on, your living soil or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Initially it was always sold to me as it would sequester nitrogen and stop the stretch, in which it 100% does that. But the thing I think that they overlook and that it does the most is it does trigger that flowering sooner. So where you would see day 10, 11 growth, you start seeing it day 7, in which then you can actually the thing with the whole line is you don't really have to subscribe to the bases to subscribe to the additives.
Yeah.
And like, if you use it right, like the trick that I always tell people is once that decision's got your flowers blooming a couple days earlier, you hit them with the PK Appetite, which all the PK Appetite does is help utilize the FOS. Like I was saying earlier, like you use pH down, which most people do. There's more people. 9 out of 10 people use pH down. They're using city tap water.
Okay, yeah.
They use pH down because all city tap water is like 7.2 or above.
Don't they have like fancy alkaline water that they sell now? It's just city tap water.
Yeah, it's like 10.0 water.
Ah,
But the Appetite basically helps utilize FOS that's already in your nutrients and your pH down, in which that's going to trigger those flowers to be a little bit bigger. Then we have the Thunder Bloom that you can actually start using like day 21, in which
should be somebody's name
with
with
the
the Thunder Bloom.
Sounds like
dude,
one of
we have
Gabe's
the-
friends. I was hanging out with Thunderbloom.
We have the Blastogen too,
Blastogen coming out.
But you use those things in conjunction with each other at certain days. You're using the Fulvic because, like I said, plants are 45% carbon, so the Fulvic really helps add that carbon and stuff like that. And so, really, you're using those to kind of help. That's really what adds the flavor. You know, like I say to folks, like you can grow the prettiest flower in the world. If it doesn't taste good, no one cares. You know, it could be
Check
big,
out
it could be
jugdealers.shop. Jugdealers.shop. If you guys want to get in on some
But
of
yeah,
that
the
action.
decision, the winter frost, they're really what we like to call the bookends, and then everything else in between. Just it all works together. But yeah, like you're saying, the decision really just kind of triggers things off. It doesn't necessarily make anything finish faster. It just gives you more time building flowers, so you build bigger flowers.
Hey, Grambo.
Yes.
If you could have the most beautiful flower ever, okay, it looks like giant frosty nugs,
All right.
but it tastes meh, tastes all right.
Uh-huh.
Or you can have something that's has a bit of frost on it, not gonna, freak anybody out, but is gonna knock your dick in the dirt. It's just gonna one hit wonder.
I mean, that's why I do so much concentrates these days. That's some pretty bad looking flour. Some good sauce. Doesn't look like flour at all, but it tastes amazing.
But I don't know, man. In my business, showing people flour, I would go for looks first, and then since I can't tell flavor anyhow, go for flavor second. You're all about flavor?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and the food and you pay all this money and the food tastes like shit, are you going back?
Does it look good?
Who cares? It looks great.
Grambo.
It looks great. Are you going back?
Click the last link. All right.
Salt Bay.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, man. All right.
This is heartwarming. It really
It is hard. It makes you,
God bless.
This was
Dude.
like Gabe saw me and my ex-girlfriend. This is how I walked around.
I mean, dude, that is Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Oh,
man.
she's
She's 24.
nice girl.
Oh my, it's so funny. So I guess there's some people that just want it to look good.
Hey, no, come on. She's awesome. I'm in love.
Yeah, she looks. You don't know nothing about a picture, you goofball.
I love her.
When you put it on the
Same with weed, bro.
I mean, that was, it's like when you put it on the end of a dabber, like that's why this stuff is so hard, because people know just on the color, dude. Rosin is never going to be this color ever, ever, ever. So like people will look at it and they'll just be like, "Oh, that's BHO," and they'll automatically have a connotation. Whereas
Is rosin?
No, this is live resin, so it's not rosin.
Okay,
But
yeah.
when you look at it, like when you grind up flour and you put it in a joint or a bowl, I couldn't tell you what it looked like.
Yeah, but
Like,
when I'm
once it's
showing
in the joint, but if you can do, how like you do a dry pull on a joint,
Yeah.
and when you do that dry pull, like when it's really good
yes.
on the dry pull. You hit
Grambo.
it and you're like, oh damn, this is the one.
She smells terrible, like that homeless guy, man. All right.
I would bathe her.
Yeah, right. Looks, man. No, Jaren's bud, man. Jaren's bud looks crazy. Looks crazy.
But it tastes good, too.
It tastes good too,
Yeah,
but I
his
don't.
weed, Jay's legit, man. His
Yes.
weed is legit.
Yes. Speaking of legit, you're legit, sir.
Thank you, bro.
I think we had a good time, man.
Thank you, man. I love coming up here with you guys. You guys are the real ones for sure.
We keep it real. Nathan Johnson gave me this note. Always look at it. Keep it real, bro.
We said that at the beginning.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Close it out, bro.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff, man.
Yes, DGC. Thanks for hanging out. It looks like was it Grateful Gardens? Maybe Grateful Gardens in the chat was looking for a road tripping buddy to the meetup here in Pontiac. So if you guys want a road trip, maybe rent like a 15 passenger and get an Airbnb all together. It could be like the DGC real world. You know what I'm saying? Like
How many different joints are going to be going on in that 15 passenger van? Like how many different smoke sessions are going to be on? At least 7, right?
Yes, that's reminding me that since my our Airbnb account is now under my wife's name due to us, I'm definitely not renting the DGC vehicle.
Why would you do that, man?
Oh
my God!
Hey, everybody!
Money, love. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. Check out realdgc.com. Definitely, there's over 7,000 growers there hanging out. Get your grow questions up, host dank nugs, and just join the community, man. It's really pure, good community of growers helping growers.
Grambo, are you going to follow him back, man?
I've recently decided that I follow no one. So
What are you up to, man?
you can see.
What was that?
It's,
Rambo, you don't follow me?
I'm quite.
Rambo, you are a
I've made
maniac,
the
sir.
decision that I follow none.
Wow.
But if you go over to Grambo Grows, I follow all of you.
So you don't follow me either?
I did the thing. I realized that's like, we all know the Instagram thing where like, they're taking us all down. So I created Grambo Grows so that one can get deleted at some point.
Hey,
And then
Banner,
I keep Josh Grambo sterile.
Yes.
how do you unfollow Grambo?
Yeah, I was
On
about to
all
say,
my
um,
platforms? All platforms? I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, I know. But Gabe is one of the real ones, so follow him. G Money Love.
Love it.
Thank you,
money.
guys.
M-U money.
Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. Good times.
Yeah, I'll just say stay higher. We'll see you Saturday. Take her easy. Actually, we got a Know Your Breeder coming this Saturday, so stay
Yeah.
tuned for that.
It
It's
is.
been a hot
We-
minute. Know Your
We
Breeder.
talked
coming
about
to
that
Savannah.
variant, the freak show genetics and everything, all the mutant plants. It's a good one. Banner nailed this one, so check it out, y'all.
Make my freak the
You
pee
guys
freak,
talking
man.
about the freak show?
Yeah, he's all in it.
You're
This is
gonna
freak,
have-
this
Freak
pee
show,
freak
the
right here.
I'm not
Australian
gonna say
bastard
who, but
cannabis.
I know who you're having through.
Yeah.
Word.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Keep his birth name on the down low, man.
I'm not. Yeah, but good for you guys.
Good stuff, man. I really enjoyed hanging.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love you guys.
Thanks,
man.
Gabe.
Shucks. I have something in my
Getting
eye,
dusty
bro.
in here.
Right?
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
We out.
Some people love to blaze up the dank. Yeah, we get high before noon. And when the boss man says to take a little break, that means we lighten up a tune. It's just weed. It's just weed.